An iconic Nigerian YouTuber, Tayo Aina, recently spent time with the Hadzabe people, a remarkable tribe that live in the Serengeti ecosystem near Lake Eyasi in northern Tanzania. What he discovered and posted on his YouTube channel was not the primitive people that the media often describe, but rather a community that has consciously chosen to live differently and perhaps more wisely than the rest of us. With little above 1,300 people left, the tribe has maintained a lifestyle that many of us secretly admire, as they don't give a damn about material possessions and social hierarchy. In the Hadzabe tribe, nobody drowns in deadlines and digital distractions. They live a simple and calm life that focuses on what truly matters. They are often described as the last hunter-gatherers on earth. This tribe lives by one single philosophy: they only hunt what they need today without reserving for tomorrow. They believe tomorrow will take care of itself. The fact that the Hadzabe people are always happy and embrace visitors into their community makes them stand out. They find joy in the simple act of sharing a meal, teaching their children, and living in harmony among themselves. To the Hadzabe, their biggest satisfaction comes when they go hunting and forage for food. It still bothers me why people often describe this tribe as primitive, savage, and uncivilized. Could it be because of their seasonal migration lifestyle and not allow modernization to affect their ancient tradition and culture? One thing I can tell you about the Hadzabe people is that they live life in its rawest form, as they get everything they need from nature. They drink muddy water, eat honey with larvae, and even sometimes eat uncooked meat with animal waste. The Hadzabe people's survival depends on natural resources. The tribe remains an important study focus for anthropologists, and they represent a model link to ways of human existence and survival largely abandoned by most of humanity. A day in life of the Hadzabe people is quite different from what you would naturally expect. At dawn, they will set up a campfire and sit by it to keep themselves warm. It is their morning tradition before they go hunting. As they warm themselves, their hunting dogs also sit or stand by the fire to stay warm while keeping themselves warm by the campfire. They smoke lots of tobacco. According to the tribe, smoking tobacco first thing in the morning gives them enough strength and clarity during hunting. Once they are fully warmed, they set out for hunting. One of them would blow a whistle and everybody would gather, including their dogs, and get set for hunting. The women gather berries and white fruits, teach their daughters which plants are safe to eat. Children play freely, learning through observation and experience rather than sitting in classrooms. The Hadzabe men go out hunting without much expectation. They could catch a deer, an antelope, a baboon, or on a worst day, nothing. Just like you wake up in the morning and go to your office or place of business, the Hadzabe people wake up every morning and go hunting. These daily hunting adventures could be really dangerous. They could encounter a dangerous animal, and if care is not taken, the hunter could become the hunted. There is this feeling of satisfaction men of this tribe get whenever they catch an animal during their hunting trip. Their dogs play a crucial role in their hunting activities or exercises. These dogs are trained to locate wild animals that are hiding inside the bush and chase them towards the hunters. Men of the Hadzabe tribe have a strong sense of sight and sound, which help them to detect animal movement in the bush during hunting. One of their most magical skills that almost every content creator who visited them attested to is their ability to make fire with just wood and a piece of knife. Tayo Aina was speechless when he watched them do it. In fact, he actually made fire using wood and a piece of knife himself. The Hadzabe people are so used to the life of the jungle that nothing scares them anymore. They walk through dangerous, steepy and thorny terrains every day, and it seems very natural to them. Whenever the Hadzabe tribe catches an animal, they kill that animal in the most brutal way you can ever think of. They either eat the animal on a hard surface or bite its neck so hard. They do this to ensure that the animal dies quickly without giving it time to escape. When the Hadzabe men return from hunting, the elderly members of the tribe notify every other member, and they start trooping out of their homes to welcome them. Thereafter, they engage in what looks like a mini feast. The Hadzabe tribe's diet is mainly plant-based, but they also eat honey, meat, and fat. They have a fantastic social structure. Men and women are equal, and critical decisions are reached by tribal members through extensive discussion. The tribe consists of several bands that move around from place to place according to seasonal changes and the availability of food and water. A camp can be set up and shelters built in just a few hours. Likewise, individuals and carry them on their backs when they need to move. Movement can also be dictated by disagreement in the camp, illness, or death. There is no dominance of one adult over another in the camp. Everyone has the same status. Spending time with the Hadzabe tribe is quite a cultural shock. They don't live by the same rules or follow times as we do. They have an an oral tradition when it comes to remembering their past, and they do not use calendars, time, or counting past 3 or 4 as a form of measurement. They have never experienced wars, famines, or serious disease outbreak, and they have no carbon footprint. They survive by their instinct and skills and their ability to interpret nature cycles and signs. They can walk confidently through the deepest bush at night and be completely at ease. What you need to know about the Hadzabe tribe is that their women build and own homes and can kick out their husbands following a divorce, and the man lives with whatever he came with and goes back to his parents. Despite their rudimentary or ancient lifestyle, they do better than many modern societies in terms of girl-child rights protection. They don't tolerate child marriages and female genital mutilation. But here is what is truly fascinating. They are not isolated from the modern world. They share this lifestyle. They've seen our cities, our technology, our endless pursuit of more. Yet, they continue to choose their way of life, carrying everything they own on their backs as they move with the seasons. These days, some tribal members now own mobile phones, which they bought with the money donated by visitors or from selling their beadwork to tourists. The Hadzabe tribe measures their success by their community strength, their children's health, and their ability to live in harmony with nature. They don't worry about retirement savings or mortgage payments. Their security comes from their skills, their knowledge of the land, and their tight-knit community. During time you announced visit to the tribe, you could see how they lead a very simple life. They share everything they hunted and gathered. No one keeps scores, no one hoards resources, and no one tries to outdo their neighbors. But perhaps the most beautiful thing about the Hadzabe is their openness to share their wisdom. They welcome tourists with genuine warmth and are eager to demonstrate their hunting techniques, their traditional dances, and their way of life. Within their social structure, every member of the family has a role to play. For instance, the men go hunting, protect the family, and bring honey home for the family. The women, on the other hand, dig up roots, tubers, and collect wild fruits. However, there has been encroachment of the Hadzabe tribe's land by farmers and pastoralists. These actions by the encroachers has affected the ecology of their society, leading to dwindled production and presence of their wild food. In fact, most of the wild animals they hunted, like antelopes, wild beasts, baboons, dik-dik, buffaloes, and zebras, have gone missing. According to the United Nations, the Hadzabe are one of the remaining hunter-gatherer communities on Earth, and it is currently the only community in Tanzania that is allowed to source its food through hunting and gathering. In fact, there is a decree in the country that recognizes and protects the special status of the Hadzabe tribe. But then again, the people of Tanzania are concerned about the hunting activities of the Hadzabe tribe. They feel that their actions are making wild animals disappear, and even endangered species aren't spared by this tribe. Because of the changing ecosystem, the Hadzabe tribe now eats food like flour, rice, cooking oil, and indigenous vegetables. Whenever they get money from tourists, they use it to buy and distribute food among themselves. The Hadzabe people are very disciplined, and whatever they do in the tribe, it is done communally. When visitors or tourists give them gifts, such gifts are received by one tribal member and they distributed to every member of the tribe. When a young lady in the tribe starts amazes, the tribal women contribute beaded necklaces and headband to decorate her. These are new ornaments and dressing style show that she's now mature. That a Hadzabe lady is mature doesn't mean she's ready for marriage, and when any man is interested in marrying the lady, the man must get the mother's approval. They hardly give approval to marry their daughters unless that lady is up to 18 years. The government of Tanzania has made an effort to modernize the Hadzabe people, but the process seems more complicated than you can imagine. Even when the Hadzabe people get a higher education through scholarships, most of them still return to the forest to continue their cultural lifestyle. They believe that forest life is less stressful. Since the first European contact in the late 19th century, governments and missionaries have made many attempts to settle the Hadzabe by introducing farming and Christianity. These efforts have largely failed, and many Hadzabe still pursue a life similar to their ancestors. Since the 18th century, the Hadzabe people have come into increasing contact with pastoralists entering their land. Tourism and safari hunting have also affected them in recent years. In the past, the Hadzabe language was thought to be among the Khoisan languages because of its clique. However, the language has been considered an isolated and unique oral language of its own. According to UNESCO, the Adzani language is vulnerable because most children learn it, but its use is restricted to certain areas of life, such as in their homes. Still, it is not predicted to be in danger of extinction. Adzani fluency is also considered the most important factor in distinguishing whether someone is Hadzabe. In more recent years, many of the Hadzabe have learned Swahili, the national language of Tanzania, as a second language. Until about 500 BC, Tanzania was exclusively occupied occupied by hunter-gatherers, akin to the Hadzabe tribe, the first agriculturalists to enter the region were the Cushitic-speaking cattle herders from the Horn of Africa. Around 500 CE, the Bantu expansion reached Tanzania, bringing populations of farmers with iron tools and weapons. The last major ethnic group to enter the region were the Nilotic pastoralists who migrated south from Sudan in the 18th century. Each of these expansions of farmers and herders displaced earlier population of hunter-gatherers who were at a demographic and technological disadvantage and vulnerable to the loss of environmental resources to farmland and pastures. Groups like the Hadzabe and the Sandawe are remnants of indigenous hunter-gatherer populations that were once much more widespread, and they are under continued pressure from the expansion of agriculture into their traditional lands. Farmers and herders appeared in the vicinity of Hadza land relatively recently. The Hadza tribe also has direct contact with the Maasai and the Sukuma west of Lake Eyasi. The upheavals caused by the Maasai expansion in the late 19th century caused a decline in the Hadzabe population. The Hadza's interaction with many of these people has been hostile. Pastoralists often go after Hadzabe as reprisal for the theft of livestock. See, the Hadzabe did not have the notion of animal ownership and would hunt them as they would when hunting. The general attitude of neighboring agro-pastoralists towards the Hadzabe people was prejudicial. They viewed them as backward, lacking a real language, and made up of the dispossessed neighboring tribe that had fled into forests out of poverty or because they committed a crime. Many of these misconceptions were transmitted to early colonial visitors to the region who wrote about the Hadzabe tribe. The Insazu were hostile to the Hadzabe at times. Insazu people may have captured them as part of the slave trade until as late as the 1870s, where it was halted by the German colonial government. Later interactions were more peaceful, with the two tribes sometimes intermarrying and residing together. As late as 1912, the Hadzabe were reported as being ready for war with the Insazu. Still, historians believe that the Hadzabe relationship with the Insazu is more favorable and at times heroic, unlike the Iroku and the cattle-raiding Maasai. Moreover, many of their customs and traditions come from them, and the Hadzabe myths mention and depict a benevolent influence of the Insazu in their mythology. The Sukuma and the Hadzabe had a more amicable relationship. The Sukuma drove their herds and sought caravan through the Hadzabe lands and exchanged old metal tools, which the Hadzabe people made into arrowheads for the right to hunt elephants in the Hadza land. In a nutshell, the Hadzabe tribe has had a complicated history over the years. Thankfully, influential YouTubers like Tayo Aino use their platform to showcase the true culture and amazing tradition of this tribe to the outside world. Let's get one thing clear: the Hadzabe people are not stuck in the past. They are keeping alive values that our fast-paced world desperately needs to remember.